Hi, I'm Jack Carley and welcome. Today I'm presenting a tour of my last exhibition, Tell the Story, Kannst, doch, Erzählen. The show was at Galerie Obenrum Untenrum, roundabout above and roundabout below, loosely translated, and it ran from November 2023 through mid-February 2024 in Berlin. A few of you know me as a poet, others as an author of fiction and nonfiction books. But probably my years as a choreographer at Tanzfabrik Berlin are what I'm best known for, which feels like eons ago to me because in 2000, my artistic practice switched completely to the visual arts. Channeling my passions, channeling my past lives and careers, my artwork now draws upon vast resources. There's been a lot of experience accumulated, and like sediment, I hope well composted. And here we go. Voila, my first solo exhibition. This is the Goethestraße 70 in Charlottenburg, an upscale part of West Berlin known for many established galleries. This is one of the newest and serves as an entrance to the gallerist's OB/GYN office. Dr. Helen Sanga's is an inclusive and sexual medicine practice. And here we are celebrating at the opening. Helen is on the left. The invitation to show at her gallery was a response to her seeing my drawings on Braille from a series called Truth Be Told. Works from two other series are also in the show. My first drawings on Braille were early 2018. I'd been drawing the female nude for quite a while when I stumbled onto a pile of Braille books destined for destruction. I saved 3 and began using them to sketch at various life study sessions instead of blank sketchbooks. Now, Braille paper posed challenges to say the least. It's thick, glossy, doesn't take on color, and obviously, it's impossible to draw a straight line because of the bumps. But instead of giving up and moving on, I became obsessed. So I began each drawing with the contours of the body, simple outside lines. By circling some Braille bumps, filling in the dips, which are the letters on the reverse side, my female figures gained depth. They became more human. It was unreadable stories, indiscernible words that created a three-dimensionality and volume. And then again, because they're Braille, these figures beg to be touched. They beg to be understood. By the end of 2018, I'd filled 2 Braille books with hundreds of drawings, and I stopped. I stopped everything. And during a residency at Berlin Art Institute, I hung scans of the Braille nudes, and I sat and looked. I reflected and I wrote, trying to find out why, asking myself why this had become an obsession. Clearly, the figures could represent me as a young dancer. But then I realized the unreadable stories that gave my figures their inner life was a story I never wanted to tell. I'd turned my own blind eye to my own story for decades. I was raped at 18, first year of college, and had only ever told a few people. Shame. And why let one disgusting man intrude upon my future or define me in society? And the horror. No words can describe the horror, so why try to find them? I became a party to keeping my story hidden, to protecting anyone near me from knowing it. And here we are, decades later, my subconscious erupted. During this subsequent period of pain, therapy, and reflection, my work as a visual artist developed substantially. For example, in fall 2019, I used chicken wire, leotards, and upholstery nails to create 2 sculptures. The nail heads spell out "touch me not" in Braille, and the nails emerging outwards from the figure signify how difficult it is for a woman who's been abused to allow touch. What it feels like when fending off becomes your MO. In 2020, I made the series Over Yet with a question mark, exhibited here for the first time, the 5 works on the left wall as you enter the gallery. I used the female nude to lure the viewer. But each work, however, has either an embedded narrative or embedded metaphor of abuse and violence. Using heavy handmade paper from the Himalayas, 70 by 100 centimeters, acrylic ink, a lot of water, soft pastels, and fine liner. This reclining nude rests on a mattress of text. It's the story of my rape, put into finely scripted narrative. And the work is called Bed of Nails. The double-figured work is a woman confiding in her alter ego. It's called Altered Ich, looking into a bright light, but isn't really present. It is easier to talk to oneself than tell anyone else about shameful things. Here, in It Overpowers, the woman is being pushed backwards, afraid of the white, Braille-like story coming at her. She's afraid of the story that is her own story. In the work Barely There, a vague blue woman's form on white paper, the body is ghosted. I think her story has not yet come to the time of telling, but I wanted to show a phantom rising. Here, a woman seems unable to protect herself. To create this and the other works, I first completely soak the paper, drip and throw or splash colored acrylic ink onto that bath. The papers take about a week to dry, sometimes longer, and can become deformed, wrinkled, buckled, and weakened. In this work, the paper appears bruised, and it's called bruised paper. So when sketching these figures, I make every attempt to disregard what the background has yielded. This is what Cicely Brown, one of my favorite painters, calls chance being manipulated. There are a number of more works in this series, and here's one of them. It's not in the show, called Negative Space Place. Finally, here's some contact information and a promise. I'm going to do more videos talking about themes around my art, the nude in history, dance in the nude, the gallerist Helen Sangha, and more, so stay tuned, and please subscribe.